Good evening, participants. We'll just quickly wait for a few seconds for everyone to join in. Let's see, we're seeing a lot of good evenings in the chat section. Good evening, all the teachers. Right. So quickly in the chat, please put in from where you're joining us today, and if you can hear us, just give us a, thumbs up. Right, we're seeing a lot of good evenings. Good evening, everyone. Right, so wonderful. Okay, so let's quickly dive into this session. So, yes, a good evening and a warm welcome to all the educators joining us today. On behalf of CENTA, we're delighted to have you with us for another insightful session in our ongoing CENTA webinar series for teachers, a space where passionate educators come together to learn, reflect, and grow professionally. We're proud to share that we recently celebrated our 300th Cent Talk, and today we are hitting our another milestone of 317th Cent Talk. Your presence and participation continues to inspire us, and as we build a stronger, more empowered teacher community. This evening. This today's session addresses a deeply important and a timely important topic that affects all our educators regardless of your experience or role. The topic is teaching as an art and a science. And now it's our pleasure to introduce the facilitator for this transformative session, Mr. Lokesh Bharadwaj. Welcome, sir.
Thank you so much, Muskan ma'am. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure to have you here, sir. So, a quick introduction about Mr. Lokesh. Mr. Lokesh is an accomplished education and entrepreneur and a growth strategist with rich experience in edtech sector. He is the founder of Lokesh Sir Notes, a growing educational content platform. He is also Sir is a YouTuber as well. He sir is the founder of Lokesh Sir Notes, a growing educational platform based in Faridabad that provides high quality digital learning resources and structured content for competitive exams. Previously, he has also served as the growth and strategy head at Textbook Mumbai, leading initiatives to enhance user acquisition, optimize revenue, and drive engagement. With his deep expertise in educational content, digital strategy, and innovative learning models, Lokesh Sir continues to bridge technology and education, empowering learners nationwide. Also, participants, a quick reminder that you can share your insights throughout the session and participate in the polls, question answers that are open for 30 seconds. Now back to the session. Again, welcome, Mr. Lokesh. So we're honored to have you on with us. Over to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Muskan, for the kind introduction. And welcome you all the participants of the webinar. So guys, let's start. So the today's topic is teaching is an art as well as a science, right? Uh, when I started teaching, before I started my teaching, I always look. My father was a teacher. He's currently being serving in a like a government school. But I always very keen to like how teaching actually being a art, right? So basically, now let's start like how teaching can be an art. Well, this is very a lot of people ask this, like how you can say that teaching is an art or teaching is a science. So we will discuss throughout this session like what are the basic fundamentals of teaching and how you can make the teaching more engageful and more powerful, so that your students really start to love you and they started to understand all the concept that you deliver to them. Okay guys, so are you excited for today session? Are you excited for today's session? If you are, yes, then please write down in the comment section, yes, we are ready to go. Okay, please write down yes to the in the comment section so that we can start with this beautiful session. Okay, so first of all, if I ask you about an artist, like what an artist to do, right? Most probably he engages their audience, right? As I am engaging you, like by saying say yes sir, no sir, whatever, right? So the engagement, the students, all student engagement is the core idea of being an artist of teaching, or I can say that being a teacher who is artist. So the core fundamental, or I would like to say that core fundamental idea of teacher as an art is to make sure you engage a student by doing some kind of teaching methods, by doing by choosing some kind of teaching method aids and different kind of thing. So how you can deliver a session, how you can deliver a session so nicely that each and every student of yours gets fall in love for those specific session that you are delivering to the students. Now let's start. First of all, whenever whenever teaching is being judged, it is being judged by the monotonous tones, right? uh, People simply use the very monotonous tones. I have clearly shown the people, like for example, if you are teaching or if you are delivering such content, any content, you start teaching like with a monotonous tone, like hey, आज का जो सेशन है उसमें हम एक्स वाई जी टॉपिक की बात करेंगे. वी विल बी टॉकिंग अबाउट एक्स वाई जी टॉपिक एंड देन वी विल लुक आउट कि ये कैसे होगा. On the very other hand, you can deliver the same thing, you can deliver the same thing with differentiate your pitching, differentiate your toning, and making enough, I would like to say, reinforcement of words whenever it is required. For example, hi friends, today we will discuss a very beautiful topic. You can clearly say that, like you can clearly say the differentiate between saying hello student, we will deliver a very different topic. Hi students, we will deliver a very different topic. So that the lending up of very, the differentiating the words, playing with the words really engage the students. So the very first thing is creative expressions. So teachers should be very innovative in the methods. He she should use, right, uh, different kind of teaching methodology, and that should be very creative. Always you have to think about like how you can make the teaching very creative. So for example, I use this smartboard, I use the pictures, I use a lot of teaching material. For example, if I wanted to show you something, like I can show them, hey guys, today we will talk about the Spider-Man. No, yeah, this is Spider-Man. So nothing will happen. This simply, by showing this simple thing, it will grab the attention of the students before starting of your class. Very simple thing. So always, as being a teacher, you should have something in your hand, or you can like have in your class that brings the attention of the students, and then connect your topic to those specific things that really bring the attention of the students. The second is emotional involvement. I have clearly seen that many teachers follow a non emotional involvement teaching techniques. A teaching is a very noble profession. You should understand that what in the inside the student's heart, what that student really like. They really like to connect with you. They really like to connect with the teachers. So always make sure whenever you are delivering any content, you teach it from your heart, right? For example, you must have seen some videos of physics, like where teachers are teaching the gravity, where teachers are teaching the pendulum kind of stuff, right? So each and everything can be done by in emotional patterns, like it can literally can grab the attention, or you can clearly feel, you can clearly make feel to the students, like see, this specific experiment is going to really help you out, please calm down. Simply bring down their anxiety about the study and make them emotional stable. And that's how, when you know that what's inside the students heart, you know that students are right now afraid of this topic, and then you console them before starting your session or during the session, right? This that you are going to, don't worry, you are going to get these points, it's very easy. Then there is individual styles. Each and every teacher, each and every student have different kind of teaching styles. Yes or no? Yes or no? Each and every individual have different teaching styles, and even every student have different learning styles. You just know that if a person who is a backbencher who is staying behind, right? Why? See, first of all, you must have seen that a lot of people do not participate in the class. Why they are not participating in the class? Because they feel left out from the complete learning that is going on. Why he is enjoying talks with his friend and not taking participation in your class? Because he feels that talking to his friend will give him more comfort than to involve into the class. So always make sure you understand that individual first, because that student who is sitting behind the bench, like who is a backbencher, also also deserve the same kind of educational patterns, or same kind of education, same kind of content that you are delivering it to the very first student who is sitting just after you on the bench. So clearly you have to understand that each and every student have their own pace of learning, and each and every student learns individually. So you have to make sure each and everyone participate in your class. What can you do? You can simply call them out. Like, hey, Mr. X, please stand up. See, Mr. X generally do not participate in the class, but today we will make sure he participates in the class, and he will help us to drive this session further. And don't ask any question that humiliate him, because it will bring more withdrawal. It will bring his more withdrawal from the class. Ask a question that you understand that this is the level of this person and he can answer this. So ask a very simple question to him to start the class, because you are starting the learning, right? You can start it with very small type of question, very easy ones. The person who is not participating in your class, you ask them very simple question that can be answered by anyone, and then say, very good, sit down. So that's how you grab the attention of all the students. You involve all the students, and you focus each and everyone's individual styles. Getting my point? Each and everyone. So, Supremo, Shweta, Anju, everyone. Are you getting my point? Yes or no? Okay, perfect. Flexibility. See, whenever you lift any book, right, you saw a topic like I have to teach, for example, I have to teach any topic like what can be topic? Like, for example, we have to teach about the earth. It's not 100% each and every time that you are going to teach the earth from the globe, right? Because it is written in your NCRT books, or it is written somewhere else, like use the globe to teach the earth. You can simply use any kind of visualization. Guys, come on, everyone, come on, stand up on your benches, and you just simply take a paper and put the names of the like countries. So which country is far from? Now you are telling the student, see, here is India and there is America, for example. So see the difference. But Nepal is very near to the India. So these are the different teaching techniques that you can use. And it doesn't matter, like you use the strict one that is written in the curriculum. You should be very flexible, because sometimes you knows better what your students really want. You know better that what can drive more attention of the student, what can make the learning more powerful, more engageful. Getting my point? Yes. Okay. Inspiration. Every learner actually see a teacher, his or her idol, right? Many people see you guys as their idol, right? Many people, like when I teach, many of my students write in the comment section, Lokesh sir, we want you to become like you, right? Many people write in the comment section because they see us as an ideal person who can inspire them, who can motivate them to their goals. Believe me, guys, whenever you see a person that is not ready to get into the learning, that's the perfect person to help you with. Getting my point? If a person is drawing himself or withdrawing himself, that I'm not going to get study into this topic is being boring, the student is not wrong, we are wrong at the time. No, and no subject is boring, no subject can be boring. It's about if a student is saying like, see, I saw like history, I take your history classes, but I found them boring. Nothing is called boring. No subject is boring. It's about us, guys. It's about teaching deliverables. It's about how we teach the students. If student is thinking that this topic is boring, that clearly means that that specific topic is not delivered in the specific brilliant, or I would like to say engageful way. So you have to find always that, say, I'm going to teach this specific topic. How can I make this specific topic more engageful? Also, many times we think a lot. As a teacher, we think a lot like, see, if I will do this, ये तो ज्यादा हो जाएगा, है ना? If I do this, ये बहुत ज्यादा हो जाएगा. कोई बात नहीं, थोड़ा बहुत होने दो, will work for you. If it is under the discipline, if you can engage the class, you can manage the class, do it. Believe me, do it. Students will start to love you. Whatever you are thinking in your mind, if it's in some kind of crazy idea, because you are not sitting in Plato's area, it's not Plato's era, or it's not Aristotle's era. Back in when people can deliver specific deliverables through lecture method only. Now you are in an era of role play, gamify, VR, AI. So that era has changed. Now the teaching methodologies has changed. So whatever that is coming to your mind, like I can teach this specific topic in that way, and it will be creative, but it will become very new to the students, and ज़्यादा तो नहीं हो जाएगा. You always try to choose that specific area because that is where creativity lies. Okay, getting my point? Okay. Now the intuition. Sometimes students doesn't want to get study. A lot of people will say to you, sir, आज mood नहीं है ना? They will say to you, ma'am, today is not our mood, right? We don't want to get study. Okay, it's okay. Now at that specific time, what you can do, like you can, okay, if you don't want to study today, many people will say, but the only problem is that it should not be repeating every time, right? One day, 2 day in a month, it can be there, right? So when students are asking like, ma'am, आज ये चीज है तो हमारा मन है, फिर many people are saying, ma'am, so you should be very flexible to your students. Okay, if you don't want to get into the studies today, now let's play a game. So always fulfill that specific time. If you get that intuition that students are not, or they can be, because they have a lot of burden of their academics, right? If you feel that they have a lot of academic burden already, because they have taken 7 classes, now 8 is mine class, right? So you can simply say that, oh, it's okay, now let's play a game, and then make a game from your concepts you already delivered, so that you participate them into, they think like we are playing a game, and also they are getting learning, they are also getting assessment, self learning as assessment, right? Okay. Now then, human connection. Obviously when you are inspiring them, you are motivating them, you are obviously looking for a human connection. So building a deep building a deep and meaningful connection clearly shows that teaching is an art. Teaching is an art, because an artist do all these kind of things, right? Creative expression, an artist will do that. You are an artist, right? An emotional involvement, an artist will do that. Individual styles, artist knows that if specific person is going to ask me specific thing, how I'm going to reply this, right? Then flexibility, inspiration, intuition, and human connection. Okay, now there are some examples from the practice side. An artistic teacher explained poetry through acting, gestures, and tone variation that I told you, right? For example, there is a poem like, simply you can recite it. वीर तुम बढ़े चलो, धीर तुम बढ़े चलो, सामने पहाड़ हो, शेर की दहाड़ हो. आपने सिंपली इसे रिसाइट किया, लेकिन ऑन द वेरी अदर स्टैंड यू चेंज, वीर तुम बढ़े चलो, धीर तुम बढ़े चलो, सामने पहाड़ हो, शेर की दहाड़ हो. So you are changing the tones, and this will engage the students a lot, right? So an artist people will do that, right? Teachers creatively weave stories, art, and music. Each and every time when you are delivering a topic, start with a story or any kind of art, right? Why? Because because when you start a lecture with a story, it sets the base. For example, you are going to teach a student about any kind of documentary of a very novel person, for any of the novel person. Ask them, like, guys, do you know someone's who is very close to your heart? Someone will say that, see, Bhagat Singh is close to our heart, Mahatma Gandhi is close to our heart, and someone else will say like specific person. They will take tell you different names, right? For example, now ask them what kind of story that is very near to you guys. One or two stories you can listen from the students. You can tell the students even, right, that you have prepared in your lesson planning. That I'm going to tell them a very short story so that they start to get engaged into the specific content that I'm going to deliver, and then we both are going to enjoy. Okay. Okay. Perfect. I try stories a lot. Very good. Now, wisdom from educational pioneers, right? So Rabindranath Tagore as well as Rousseau, right? Both of them belongs to the person who love to see that the learners learn the most when they are in their natural field. Getting my point? So basically, they support the naturalistic way of learning. Means Rabindranath Tagore and Rousseau, both of them, believes that a learner learns the most when the learning is happening naturally. So you don't need to, you don't need to force them. See, this is your chapter 8 because it is of 20 marks. Please read it. No, because this is chapter 8 and we are going to enjoy it. Let's read it. Come on. This is how the natural thing that happens, like natural love to the learning will happen. According to the Rousseau and Rabindranath Tagore, both supported them. Getting my point? On the very other hand, John Davis Hub, again, who believes learning by doing, who believes that you can learn the things by doing anything. The practical things that is happening into the classrooms, also students get stressed about the practicals. Do you know, in India, students, when there is practical, even in final practicals, students get stressed about them. Why they get stressed about them? Because lab एक ही है साहब, है ना? There is one lab and there is 80 people. They are not getting enough chances to participate into the laboratory things, or they are not getting enough chances to you know doing it from their side. So believe me, guys, you have to give them proper chance to each and every student, so that whenever they are into final examinations, whenever they are into the summative evaluation is happening, whenever they are not getting stressed about their any kind of practical kind of things. Getting my point? Yes or no? So it has to be very natural, right? It has to be learning by doing. Uh, it has to be done in an artistic way. The teaching should be done in an artistic way. So both of them are supporting this kind of statement, Rabindranath Tagore and John Davis, right? Okay. So before moving, I would like to ask you some questions in the comment section. Please tell me. The very first question is, which of the following is your best teaching method that you really love to teach through? The first is lecture method. The second is demonstration method. The third is project method. And the fourth is gameplay method. Come on, everyone, please answer this in the comment section. You guys are enjoying this session? Please tell me, like, in the comment section, are you enjoying this? And you are able to learn the things that I'm telling you, like this kind of special thing. Okay. Fourth, gameplay method. Everybody is choosing game. Why? Why? Because that clearly shows you that game is our natural way, right? We have done a lot of gaming naturally, right? And that's very close to our heart. And if it is close to your heart, it should be close to the students. It should be close to the heart of students. So please find a game always whenever you are going to teach to the group of students or specific classes. Okay? Okay, perfectly done. Okay. Now, now we have done and clear and cut explanation how teaching is an art. Now we will be focusing that an art should be balanced by a science. Art gives us freedom. Science also gives us freedom, but binds in a discipline, right? So, for example, if you are choosing a gaming method, you have choose a specific gaming method, but before choosing a gaming method, you should understand the science behind it. The art saying you have to choose a gaming method, but the science is saying how you are going to deliver that specific method. Getting my point? So to bind an art into a discipline, science is going to help us. So teaching is also a science. Teaching is very beautiful. Teaching is also a science. Yes, this is a science. Many people have listened like teaching is an art, teaching is art, but yeah, teaching is also a science, right? Now let's focus how teaching is a science. Teaching is a science, right? Let's see. First, teaching should be done systematically. You know that if you are starting with a class with a story, you should know that for how much time you are going to deliver a story. I will complete a story in 5 minutes. Then for the rest of 30 minutes, I will be delivering my content. I will be teaching them. I will be making, a lot of stuff out there, and whatever I have planned, I will do that. And after delivering my specific content or the lecture, I will do the evaluation. I will do some kind of formative evaluation. It can be formal or informal, any kind of evaluation, right? I will do that for the rest of the 5 minutes. So there is a system that how you are going to deliver that class from starting it to from starting it. You are getting the you are getting the knowledge of their previous. You are basically getting to know about their previous knowledge through the story, through the questions, right? And then you are delivering the content, and in the end you are simply believing them like, see what I have taught you. You have corrected most of the correct answer. That clearly means you have learned a lot, guys. You have learned a lot. So there is a system, there is a complete system of teaching, right? It's a systematic process. Teaching is a systematic process. Use of theories. Different theories are there. You must have listened about some kind of theory. Let me tell you some kind of theories. There is cognitivism, where the cognitive people thinks that like Jean Piaget, right? They think that everything that you see will go to your mind itself. So the cognitivism means getting the knowledge itself, basically by seeing them, by observing them, right? On the very other hand, there are people, behaviorists, who thinks that danda lagega to bachcha seekhega, means punishment should be given, reinforcement should be done. AL Thorndike sahab, right? There are a lot of people in the behaviorism, right? Skinner, Thorndike, Pavlov, even Pavlov theory. You must have listened about that, right? So there are different theories around the pedagogy, right? How you teach the people, and literally they will help you like for the specific concept, which of the following teaching method or which of the following pedagogy is going to help us. Should I teach in Herbertian method, or should I teach in different kind of model? It can be of Bloom's model. So you have to choose the model very carefully, because it's a science. If you choose the wrong information or wrong kind of concept, everything, your result will get ruined, right? So it's a science, because you have to choose the correct thing. And whenever you are going to use this specific method, students are going to enjoy it, because this is science. Science is what? Science is means it is going to be correct each and every time. Science means it is going to correct each and every time. So that's why if you are going to teach a class 11th or 12th, that's why most of the classes are done through the lecture methods. But if you are going to teach to the students for 1 to 5, you will see it is the learning is happening in more playway method. It is happening in more naturalistic way, because this is science. Science tells us, like, choose your teaching method, choose your pedagogy very carefully. Getting my point? Yes or no? Correct. Objectivity. You know, you should not have a personal bias. Like, for example, personal bias means, see, हम तो ऐसे ही पढ़े थे, right? We have personal bias, like, uh, we got study through the lecture method, so I will teach the students through the lecture method. uh, हमारे टीचर्स ने ऐसे पढ़ाया, तो I will teach them in the same way, right? So this should not be done. Stay away from the biasness, because it's more about objectivity. You have to choose the correct thing. What is correct for the students, what is good for the students, what is good for the learning experience, you have to choose that. Getting my point? Okay, perfect. Replicability. If a teaching method is being tested, it is proven for the rest of the classes, for the upcoming of the classes, you don't need to change it. It can be help you by replicating the same method to the different of concept, different of the classes. For example, if you find that students are learning chemistry by doing some kind of experiments, do the experiment, different kind of experiments for the different topics, because students are loving it. That's why it's science. You can replicate one model to different things, different positions. Okay, it's measurement and evaluation. See, at the end of the session, the complete annual session, we give marks to the students, correct? Somebody has scored 60 out of 90, somebody has scored 50 out of 100, somebody has scored 40 out of 100, because that clearly tells us that our learning process, how successful our learning process was to a student, or how much student participated in a learning process. For example, as a teacher, you can do everything, you can do each and everything. You are choosing the best method, you are doing the correct thing, right? But you find that student is not coming to the class. He is moving around here and there, and then someday he came to and write the examination. Then it will be not good for the people who are attending the class regularly, if he scores the same marks, right? So that's why it's a science. If you are not attending the classes, you are not getting the learning, you will be failed. Definitely you will be failed. And that's why I said that art should be bind through the science, right? In a discipline, the student at least have to come to the class, right? Because law of readiness, what law of readiness says, right? Law of readiness says that you can't teach a person who you can give you can sit a person to read, you can sit a person to learn, but if it's not ready, you can't make things learn to him. Getting my point? If a student is not ready to learn, he is not going to learn the things. So very first thing is that you have to do is to make sure he is ready to learn. And how you make sure he is ready to learn? The same thing, teaching is an art, that I told you. By showing different kind of expressions, by telling them story, by participating them. Getting my point? Perfect. Now there is continuous improvement. In India, there is a system called CCE, Continuous and Comprehensive Evolution. It was imposed by the CBSE, Central Board of School Education. Its main idea was given by Professor Yaspalji, who was also participating in different kind of education policies. You know, when we talk about the continuous improvement, how you can know that your each and every student are continuously improving in a specific topic? When you take regular assessment, when you do the regular continuous assessment, that's how you get to know about the students, that yeah, this is specific thing now the student this there are three people who are lagging behind, or other than them all are okay, right? All the students are going well. Now each and every time you have to do your research, you have to do a lot of I would like to say that there is a word called remedial assessment. So its main focus is to get to know that how many students get lagging behind for a specific concept, and then they help them to to get better into the specific thing. But you have to simply look after that if the students are getting continuously improving their marks and each and everything, right? And the seventh is predictability. Now you have applied a specific method. You know very well that up to 80% of the students will get the topic in this way, and then 20% I have to use these kind of things. Getting my point? So that's how the predictability helps us. Predictability helps us, like how good the teaching method is going to help us, how good the learning is going to help us, right? So, and then when you know that for the 20% it is going not to help, you can anticipate them, you can anticipate at the specific time. Now now you see the people that there is four or five people who are not getting learned, like 20% people like who are not getting the things, you anticipate that at that time. So that's how continuous improvement and predictability really helps us. So the scientific teaching in practice. Okay, so sorry. Any doubt, guys? Any doubts? Okay, we will take the doubts very soon, right? See, now let's talk about the scientific teaching practices. You must have seen there are questions called HOTS, right? HOTS. What is HOTS basically? HOTS are higher order thinking skills questions. Yes or no? So these higher order thinking skills questions were not asked before Bloom's taxonomy. So also Bloom's taxonomy get revised twice, right? So in the Bloom's taxonomy, we find that there is a pyramid, and the top of the pyramid, it is create, and the lower of the pyramid is remember. Means we understand that for a student, remembering will be very easy, but to make student to create new things or to evaluate new things will be difficult. For example, if you give a students, guys, please remember, for example, please remember F equal to ma, force equal to mass into acceleration. Everybody will learn it. Yes sir, yaad ho gaya. Yeah, I learned it. What I say? F equal to ma. Everybody learned it. Now you change your question. Now give a task to the student. Guys, you have to evaluate two theories. How Newton and Einstein's theories are saying different kind of things when it comes to the space-time theory of Einstein, or I can say gravitation of the Newton. How both of them are different. Now, when you are asking your student to analyze, to evaluate the differences of two theories, obviously it will take a lot of, it will consume a order skills of mind. Yes or no? Getting my point? It will consider like higher order of skills. So on the top of that is create or to analyze the problem. Use Bloom's taxonomy, start students from a lower side of questions to remember the facts, then to make sure, find the difference, to analyze, and then ask them to now let's create some new kind of questions. Although it is not, obviously it's not practical each and every time to create, but you can obviously ask student to evaluate. That's how Bloom's taxonomy is being used in the teaching methods. Getting my point? Okay, one of my students is like returning. One of my students is writing. Supremo is writing, sir, आप जो बता रहे हैं वो संभव नहीं है. Means he is saying that the things that I'm telling is not possible. It's see, Supremo, it's totally depend on your your arts of teaching, right? When you start teaching is a very different kind of thing. It's not an easy thing. First of all, it's not like simply you have to deliver a lecture. Teaching means to deliver a lecture in a systematic way, in a very different way. That's how you become a good teacher. See, there are some average teachers, there are some normal teachers, and there are some X plus one teachers. That's how you take the spot of those X plus one teachers who use these kind of teaching methodologies. So you should be made motivated. Like, if it is not possible, I will make it possible. You should look, you should run after, you should like look as a challenge. Like, I'll challenge this, like I will make sure, like my मेरी classroom में ये होगा, right? Okay. Reinforcement theory. What is reinforcement theory? If student is doing good things, you simply give them rewards, you simply give them chocolate, you give them good, very good. If you remember, guys, our copies were, if we write the correct answer, teachers gives us good, very good. What does it mean? आप वेरी गुड गुड को क्लास कहीं शॉप वगैरह पे जाके उसका कुछ ले सकते हैं? थोड़ा कुछ नहीं ले सकते, because it gives us reinforcement, positive reinforcement. So giving them positive reinforcement when the students are doing good, and giving them negative reinforcement, that can be punishment, like write 2 essays of specific topics, right? That is reinforcement. Pre and post test, as I told you, your learning should be done, your evaluation should be done 2 times. First, when you are entering in a class, you start it with assessment for learning. So there are 4 kind of assessment: assessment for learning, assessment of learning, assessment in learning, and assessment as learning. So when you start a class and you ask a question, hello everyone, how are you? So how many of you know about Bloom's taxonomy? So what you are doing, you have not taught the student to the Bloom's taxonomy, but you are asking them, you are asking them to check their pre-knowledge. You are asking them to check that how much level already the class have in this specific topic, so that I can elevate that, or I can drive it from the basics. So your assessment then be at least 2 times: before the classroom, starting of the learning, assessment for learning, and after the learning, assessment of learning. Getting my point? So whenever you are starting a class, you start with a pre-knowledge and then deliver it, right? Okay. Okay. So this is from my side, guys. Now I will take some questions, and then we will be asking you some kind of poll, right? We will be asking you some kind of questions, right? So I would like to tell you, right? I would like to ask you, right? In the Bloom's taxonomy, what was on the top of the pyramid? Come on, everyone, answer it. I want to say that, sir, in private schools do not allow to implement the new policies. They have fixed pattern of teaching. Even we can't give them different answers, different from the book. Primo, that's why uh, a good teacher needs to be a good politician as well, right? You have to make sure you take the power of your principal. Like, see, I'm going to change the way of the my students learns, right? I want to change the how this school actually learns, right? I want you to change the learning process. Please allow me to do this, right? You also have to become some kind of politician as well, right? Okay, create was on the top. And what was on the top, or what was on the lower side of the Bloom's taxonomy? What was in the bottom side of the Bloom's taxonomy, guys? Okay, it is Remember. Very good, guys. Very good. One more question I would like to ask you guys uh, from the session is that which teaching method you find more active teaching method? Option A is lecture method. Option B is demonstration method. Option C, discussion method. Option D, that is, guys, that can be poetry method. So there are two kind of teaching methods. A is active, basically active teaching methods involves active participation of the students, right? So the teaching methods like experimental methods, right? Activity based methods. When you provide students some kind of activity, it can be poetry, it can be like to tell the stories. You ask the students to tell the stories, right? Uh, these kind of methods are actually active learning method, and there are some passive learning method where students gets passive. Lecture method is a passive method. Demonstration method is a passive method. You are demonstrating some kind of thing, students are sitting and then they are seeing you, right? Okay, so your presentation is very motivating. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Discuss. Okay, now I will open to take your comments, and yeah, I will open to take your comments, guys. Please ask your question if you have any kind of question regarding to improve your teaching as well as
Sorry, so you were saying something. You were saying something. Please continue.
yeah, I was just asking the students like if they have any doubt regarding how they can improve their teaching, they can ask me.
Lokesh sir is so used to saying students, he forgot that a lot of teachers have joined the session.
Thank you so much.
No, no problem. Yes. Right. Participants, please put your questions in the comment section. Meanwhile, we had a few questions from the previous comments. We'll just take them quickly.
Yes, Afsana, what's your question?
Meanwhile, Lokesh, so we'll just take one quick question from the comments that we already had. So,
Yes.
one of the participants is asking which part of teaching is more important, arts or science?
Yeah, both of them run simultaneously. You can't say that like art is more important or science is more important. Obviously, both of them are important, and we have to run like in equal ratio. You can't be all time artistic. You can't be all time scientific. It also depends like topic to topic. For example, if it is a very conceptual topic of physics, right, where you can't give them demonstration, when you can't do the experiments, you start with the lecture method and then start to find those loopholes where you can do some kind of activities as well. So both of them run simultaneously. That's why it's an arts as well as a science, right?
Thank you for answering that question. I have a personal question to ask Mr. Lokesh sir to you. You were discussing about different, ways of teaching behaviorism and cognitism and reinforcement. What is something that you practice in your classroom?
Uh, Most of time I use activity based methods as well as cognitivism, because most of my lectures are done through the like online classrooms, right? So most of the students wants knowledge from me, right? They don't want a lot of, because if they are not near to me, like they are not in front of me, I have a restriction that I can't give them some kind of please pick some pens, I can't see them, right? So most of time it's a more cognitive side, and then some kind of some kind of activity like write yes sir, no sir in the comment section. I want active participation from the student side. So yeah, it's more cognitive sides, and as Piaget says ki, learning happens cognitively. So I believe in the cognitism very much.
Wonderful, wonderful. So we have one question that is there on the comment. Let me just check. How can we integrate art in teaching? Please guide, Mr. Prakash M.
Okay, Prakash, art is something you have to choose first, right? See, for example, that I told you, like the poetry, right? If you are telling the students, if there is a topic of history, for example, and you are going to teach, for example, 1815 revolution, 1815 17 revolution. So you take a poetry out there from there, first deliver it, and then start your class. Guys, you know what we are going to teach here, right? You at when you have you listened this poetry or all, right? So you start with the poetry, you have set the stage, and then you are delivering it, right? That's how you actively involve the art into the in teaching basically.
Thank you
Thank you
for
so much.
answering that, Coach.
Yeah.
I need more strategies to teach. How to motivate slow learners in class because I find it very challenging. Mr. Shweta Yadav asks.
Great. So there can be two kind of students. One is I would like to say the God gifted students. We also use a term in NCRT or our textbooks. It's gifted students. We choose acceleration there. They want challenging problems. So give them more and more HOTS kind of question for those students uh, who are gifted ones. They want acceleration. On the very other hand, there are slower students, right? For the slower learning student, you have to be flexible. There is a term called IEP, individual educational programs. So basically what it means, like for example, in my class, Muskan is there, Muskan is student, and she is a slow learner, for example. So I would like to tell, okay, Muskan have problem in mathematics. What I will do, right? I will, if she is not able to understand the concept of percentage, I will start the concept of fraction for her, and then slowly I will tell, like, see how we convert the fraction into the percentage. I will take Muskan into her back classes individually, and taking her concepts, making her concepts stronger and stronger and stronger, and then putting her into the mainstream of the classes basically. So we use individual educational programs for those students who are slow learners. We become more flexible in our curriculum. We become more flexible in our teaching methods.
Right, that absolutely answers that question. Right, well, let's take. I think we can take last two questions.
Sure.
Right. So, so one of the participants asked, how can we maintain energy for the continuous 6 hours of the teaching?
Hmm. Yeah, that's correct. Because teaching is a very hectic, I would like to say, job. Each and every time you have to think about a lot of creative ideas. But once you start enjoying it, right? See, it drains your brain drains the energy most when you find something challenging. Getting my point? If you find something very challenging, for example, for you mathematics is very challenging, your brain will drain your most of the energy at the time. And if you feel lethargic at the end of the session, that means your body is very optimum. It can deliver 12 hours of lectures, to be very frank. Your mind gets very used to of the seeing the same classes, doing some boring stuff each and every time. Once you bring interest, once you bring creativity, once you bring fun to the study, your mind will start to enjoy it. And all those things, like if you can watch a web series for regular 7 hours, I can challenge you. You want to be like, you want to be saying like main thak gaya, I'm getting tired. You want to be saying that kind of things, because your mind is enjoying this. Make your learning, if you are delivering it, make it natural for you. Like, see why are you, see, enjoy, and use smile. Please listen it carefully. when I have to take longer lectures, right, I always use my smile, because I mind basically, if you put your expression of anger on your mind, if you're on your face, your mind will automatically generate those kind of chemicals in your brain that is related to anger, and you will be draining easily. So always use smile, because smile also like saves a lot of energy, because it won't generate those kind of chemicals in your brain that will make you more lethargic.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Lokesh sir. We have answered quite a few questions, but there are a lot more questions in the comment section. But sorry, teachers, we're running out of time, so we'll not be able to take all of them. Thank you, Lokesh sir, again for this amazing session. It was extremely informative. Thank you again for joining the platform and giving us this very insightful session. Thank you again.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Dear participants, I see a question here that my question is, nowadays students are so much sensitive, like we have to provide so many different methods. Miss Afsana, we are conducting another session that is on how to manage Gen Z students in classrooms. So please keep an eye on that session. Keep checking the Center app. One of the Thursdays we will be addressing this issue as well. Now I see a lot of questions asking on the record of participation. I'll quickly walk through how to receive the record of participation on the app. First of all, participants, please download the Center app. That is the place where you will be able to receive the record of participation, and we do not issue any record of participation on the mail or any other platforms. Now quickly walking through the steps to attain the participation certificate. First of all, please download the Center app and register for the webinar. Once you've registered for the webinar, on the section where you see register, that button would have converted to submit feedback. Click on the submit feedback button and enter the 4-digit code that you see on the screen, which is 6866. I repeat, the code is 6866. Once you have entered the code, submit the feedback form and you will be able to download the record of participation through the Center app. Now, if you have any queries or any questions, please write to us at team@center.org. Again, if you have any questions or queries, please write to us at team@center.org. Thank you, participants, for joining us. It was wonderful having you here. Thank you, teachers.